Good afternoon, Westwood, and welcome to the Wolverine Report, episode 35. Charlotte is out. We have Evan Cardamino, co-host, helping out as the technical director, and we are joined by some special winners, folks. We are joined by captains of a team that, for the first time in 41 years, won a TVL title, brought it back to 200 Manhattan Street. An amazing season that we were able to cover last year. And we could not be more excited to cover this team and the prospects of this season this year. And we are joined by the captains of your 2025 girls softball team, at Abby Johnson, Sasha Marino, Amelia O'Neill, and Bridget Malkeen. Girls, how are you? And thank you so much for joining us.
Good.
Doing good. Keeping busy with school and stuff.
Love it.
How are you?
Doing good. We're fired up. We're fired up for some softball, coming up this season, and love that the rivalries are still there. Some good games on the schedule. We also love that there's some non-league games added this year. Last year you guys had TVL only, and you guys, just from all the hard work that was put in, I think that there's going to be some really good things, and starting with defending a TVL large title, and also a deep playoff run as well. And excited to talk about it today. But to kick things off, why don't you guys, just for the folks at home, just to catch them up to speed, name, number, and position, as we go across the infield here. Starting west. We'll start with you, Abby.
So I'm Abby Johnson. I play third base and I'm number 5. During the off season, I play soccer and I do a lot of hitting with my parents, and I do a lot of tee work and using a bounce back in my basement.
Awesome. And a junior captain for your Wolverines, so amazing accomplishment. Sasha?
My name's Sasha Marino. I am a senior and I'm number 10, and I play shortstop. And hockey is my first sport, but I love playing softball with my girls. But I spend a majority of the year at a different school playing for a different hockey program.
Awesome.
My name's Amelia. I'm a senior. I play second base. And during the off season, I don't do any other sports, but I hit with my parents and with my coach.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm Bridget. I'm a senior, number 6, and I'm a pitcher. During the off season, I play club softball. We do a bunch of indoor practices, games in the winter, and I do pitching and hitting lessons.
Awesome. So a lot of work, even multi-sport athletes, but a lot of work that has gone into this year. And, catch us up on kind of how the off-season's been. I know that you've had some captains' practices, gotten players together. How has that gone? And, already off to a hot start, 1-0. Give us a little background on how the off-season's been leading into that first game versus Dedham.
I'd say the off-season was pretty good. We did some captains' practices at 5 Tool Performance, and those were good. I mean, some days there were lots of girls, others there weren't, but we got what we could.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's been putting in a lot of work this season, throughout our whole program, starting from varsity all the way down to JV.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Some good teams. Does it feel like there's some good team bonding during those off-season workouts? Because they're serious, but you're also having some fun. It's some good opportunities to have some fun together, and get excited for the season, and also. Looked on the roster, you got some freshmen on the varsity team. Talk a little bit about that. Who are some new faces, and who's going to be the next Izzy Walsh, for this year's team?
So for outfield, we have Julia Raffoni.
Yeah.
She's been doing pretty well. We also have Catherine Granada. She can play outfield, and she's a catcher.
Yeah.
We have Brooke Benger. She's an infielder. Then there's also Nia French.
Nice.
She plays infield as well.
Yeah.
And then there's Eve Clinton.
Yeah.
Did I get them all?
Yeah.
But this is the deepest hitting lineup that we've had in a long time.
Yeah,
All of them
definitely.
are very, very talented.
That's impressive because, you guys hit the cover off the ball, just from doing games last year. We'll walk through some numbers. So outside of, Bridget's 39 career wins and 587 strikeouts, hit 377 last year. 3 home runs, not a big deal. 6 triples, 1 double, 16 RBIs, 14 runs. That's pretty darn impressive. Sasha, my goodness, batted .460. It makes Ted Williams, 409 look nothing. 29 hits, 1 home run, 6 doubles, 2 triples, 19 RBI, 22 runs scored. And Tom had mentioned, your leadership on and off the field is critical to Westwood's success. And this is from the Westwood Living preseason report. Great job done by Tom. Amelia, one of the smoothest fielders, the ability to play first, second base, as well as emergency catcher.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
We're going to ask about that.
She's there.
And pitching too. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, we're definitely going to ask about the emergency catching situation. And Abby as well. Batting .449, 22 hits. I mean, these are, and to add what you guys are saying is some good bats to an already, really, really solid offensive lineup, is pretty special. Also defense, watching you guys last year, the defense was terrific. And, even starting with the pitcher, that Millis game, diving catch, and I think that was the first batter of the game. So I'm like, what a tone setter. If I was the Millis coach, I'd say, all right, guys, let's get back on the bus. Time to go home. It's going to be tough to beat when the pitcher's diving for outs like that. They're going to be a team tough to beat. But how much pride do you guys take on the defensive side knowing that you're going to get a great pitching performance, and obviously the bats are going to do their thing, but just being able to take care on the field as well.
I mean, Bridget works her butt off like all year long. Like I've never met someone who like just puts so much work and effort and like shows up to softball with, like, it's so corny, but such a smile. Like,
Yeah.
like I love coming to softball with Bridget, and like I know Bridget does so much in the off season. So like we all like can't like disappoint her.
Yeah.
So
I was about to say, I rely a lot on my teammates for defense. I do my own thing at shortstop, but paying attention is a little hard.
Yeah.
So cheering for Bridget, and you do a good job keeping me in the game. I'm always talking to Abby out there, and I'm not making mud piles.
we're not.
You guys do a great job of when a player makes a big play, you're loud, you're cheering them on, you're patting them on the back. Love that, because that's part of winning culture.
So it makes it fun.
I'd say, Abby and Amelia, you guys play two important positions outside of shortstop, which is one of the most important on the field. But you guys are in positions where you have such a good pitcher who's throwing a lot of velocity, where a lot of the hardest hit balls are at second base and third base. Right-handed hitters, they're a little bit behind on that fastball. So you're getting, and where we're kind of set up for the games from an angle standpoint, we see that it comes in hard and also got a little spin to it too. Same thing at the hot corner. Those are coming off hard off the bats. How much do you guys take pride in playing those positions, which, with Bridget on the mound who's humming it, you're seeing a lot of action, and, a lot is asked out of you when it comes to the field play.
Yeah, personally, I know that, I got to be ready for it, because she does such a great job at throwing it that, she needs her infield to back her up and be ready for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I've learned that I definitely need to stay back a little more. Sometimes I get a little too close, and it bites me. Yeah, it bites me in the butt. But what's it called? I just it's awesome. I love playing on this team, honestly.
Yeah, and are you guys communicating too, throughout the game? So we see the fastball, and the fastball's terrific. You got a great rise on that too. But every now and then you throw that off-speed pitch, and it's crippling. I've seen people turn into a statue, and they've needed to be picked up and walked off the field after because they froze. And you save it. You actually save it pretty well. You don't see it really every single at bat, and I think you do a good job of doing that. Talk through kind of your pitch selection and maybe some of the philosophies you have with that. Are you trying to get as many players out with the fastball, and then when you do throw that off speed in there, is there any additional pitches you throw outside of those two pitches?
So I have a fastball, changeup, drop, curve, and rise.
Yeah.
And I've been really trying to throw the changeup more these past few seasons just to get the batters off balance because they'll eventually be able to time up a fastball and other pitches. So I want to make sure I throw that often, even if they don't swing or swing and miss or hit a ground ball to the field, I know they'll get the out, which is nice.
So it's a high IQ right there. I mean, because you're not always thinking strikeout on everything. You're thinking, I want to get the batter out.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are a really, a pop-up or just a really slow grounder, which is like a layup. And a lot of them come right
definitely.
to you, on the mound. You get them at the end of the bat, and it's right there, and it's, you could walk it over to first base. So that's great feedback. And you guys have some great coaching. So, Coach Grandy, he's done a terrific job. You have some great assistants. I know one of them was a pitcher in college, if I have correct. How special has she been with, coaching, being able to have a pitcher who knows what it's like to be in that position and that feedback that you've gotten from her?
Oh yeah, it's been great. She's definitely helped me a lot with like my other pitches, like trying to develop them, and also just like advice on like just like pitching and like how to like approach batters, which is really helpful.
That's awesome. I mean, what a resource to have.
I know, yeah.
And she pitched Division I level too. She was a heck of a pitcher from what I understand. And what a resource. And Coach Grandy, good job of coaching over the last few years. And it's a good mixture of coaches. Good cop, bad cops. I'm sure, like every other teams as well too, which is cool. Last year, first time in 41 years, you're Westwood girls softball or TVL champs. Loved saying that. And what a place! It was at Morrison Field. Had the trains going out throughout the whole night. The line down the foul line. People were right up against it, so it was like make sure you're watching where the balls are going. Yeah. We almost got hit with a ball because every now and then during in between innings, the whole lineup comes out to throw a couple warm ups. One of the balls went over her head, just missed one of our heads, but luckily just missed. How special is playing on that field? And if you guys had the option to choose, would you try and play more games at Morrison Park?
I mean, yeah, playing under the lights is just like a really fun experience that I feel like every like softball or baseball player should get to experience. What do you guys think?
It's hard at the high school without the lights. Yeah. You got to schedule the game right after school, and that's hard on us too, just coming straight from a class to warming up for a softball game. But the lights at Morrison are just, it hits different. Yeah. It's really awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that because also like growing up, Little League, always at that field. So it's like, it's a good reminder of like when we were little.
Yeah. You got Tom on the mic too. I think you should do that for more games.
Tom's
maybe some
amazing.
walk-up music too. You guys get to pick a song.
Yeah.
And you guys are mashing. Bridget, you had like identical hits right to the like fire station. Basically roped them. And you guys, the bats were going. And I can just remember the different plays in that game. Like Izzy Walsh had a big triple. I think it was like a 2-run triple, and then she's flexing on third base.
Oh my gosh!
And then you guys are getting some good small ball. Talk about her too. I think she does such a good example. She's and she was a freshman last year. Did a terrific job. Where she is the best at getting into a pickle. And having the player on third score. Like how good is she? The best on the team at that? And how crucial is small things like that when it comes to softball? Because a lot of times I see, all right, player a player on first will go to first to second. A lot of times you see them go right for third, and you have to be on top of that. So like, how important are those small aspects of the game to anticipate the chess moves that other teams will do against you guys?
I know in hockey it's called hockey IQ, but Izzy has incredible softball IQ.
Yeah.
I think she was just born with it. Yeah. She knows how to get that infield confused. She knows how to move the next runner. Yeah. It's really impressive, and we need that. Yeah. In tight games or in games where the pitcher is just eating us up, we need those plays to get those runs in. So she's unbelievable.
Manufacturing runs, so important part of the game. And you can tell a player like her, and I'm guessing, so correct me if I'm wrong, is she softball only? Like she seems like she eats, breathes softball. Yeah. And one thing I noticed now that's different than when I was in high school was softball was a sport that athletes would play in the off season. And now Westwood is a softball town. And you guys have a big piece and a big part of that. You have girls who are at the game watching you saying, these are my heroes. To go out, when we were at that Norwood game, senior night, where you guys clinched, there was a ton of people there. And like, that was awesome. And I just remember like how special that moment, it was not just special because of, what you guys accomplished, winning the Tri-Valley League co-champs with Hopkinton, but the community was there. They were behind you, and they knew something was special was on the line. So to see where it's gone till now, where now there's a ton of players that are softball only, that are playing summer league softball. Summer league softball never happened, 20 years ago. How important has that been for the development, the summer leagues, the town leagues? to help, kind of build more kids to come out and play, and also to sharpen the teams, where I'm seeing a lot of winning championships over the summer. How helpful has that been?
I mean, it's been so helpful. Like, I can't even begin to describe to you like how helpful summer softball was. Because I remember our first tournament, we lost every game 12-0, and I remember Tom Lydon was appalled, watching these girls run around the bases like it was nothing.
Yeah.
But like every year we got better, and I think it's just been such an awesome experience. Like, I have so many amazing memories. Just at practice today, we were talking about tournament team.
Was it 2 years ago when we went 6 for 8 tournaments?
Yeah.
We won Laconia that year too.
Yeah, that's the year we won 3 tournaments in a row.
That was crazy.
And it's just it's so awesome how we did it through Westwood, because I came into high school my freshman year playing on a team with a bunch of girls who I already knew, and that's not an experience that you'll normally get during high school. But I feel like it really made me a lot closer, and
That's huge, because I'm sure there's club teams, right? But if people are still doing the town teams, that's huge, because you have that chemistry with your teammates and playing beside each other. Hockey was different in Westwood because club teams are so competitive that some just club only. So to have that chemistry is huge, and you see freshmen that are playing and contributing and are huge parts, and then now you're seeing junior captains. In addition to senior captains, which would not happen if it wasn't for a lot of development, leadership and all that. And which leads me to my next question is, to have those programs that where you took on, you won 6 of the 8 summer tournaments, where you really had these special teams growing up. It takes some special people that helped organize it, some special coaches, parents. Who are some of those parents, coaches that you guys had growing up that you want to give a special shout out to?
My mom, Nicole Johnson,
legend,
was an amazing coach for our team for I think a solid 4 years. Amelia's mom, Ann O'Neill,
love it.
She was awesome. Mr. Mulkeen,
legend.
He coached.
He coached us for a year. I think that was when we won Laconia.
Yeah.
That was when we had that was all 3 of our parents actually.
And Tom Lydon.
Tom Lydon
Tom
too.
Brandy when we were little.
They
just, I don't want to say they forced us in it, but they kept us in it. They knew that we would enjoy it. And
oh my gosh, Chuck from Dedham.
Oh yes.
The Dedham girls. When the Dedham girls came, it really changed.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, those people are part of that TVL championship. There's no question. And I think they probably saw the foresight of, there might have been some tournaments that, there might have been some burnout here and there, but to stick with it because they knew something special was going to happen, and that's awesome. And they deserve a shout out for all that they've done. Nicole, Lenny, legends.
Lenny.
The great love story, met in college at Roger Williams. Lenny was a baseball player, your mom's softball player, and awesome. And big parts in the Westwood community when it comes to softball. Lenny's also helping run Little League baseball. So how cool is that? You share this special game. Baseball obviously similar to softball. Your mom a softball player, but share this special game connection with mom and dad.
It's awesome. I mean, all we do is talk about baseball and softball all day long. And it's really great when I don't have any socks and my dad just gives me a pair from the Little League.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, they got the plenty of inventory.
Plenty to go around.
So last year, you guys went 12-5, and the regular season schedule was all TBL only teams. This year you've added some non-league games. How excited do you play some other teams outside of the TBL, and who are some of those teams that you guys are going to be playing for non-leagues?
Yeah, so we're going to be playing Fontbonne and Milton.
Nice.
And I think this is good just to switch it up from the normal teams we play, face a different pitcher. So when we get to the playoffs, maybe we see them again, or we just hit better off pitchers or whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's the funny thing. I mean, softball's different than baseball because baseball you have a rotation. They're going to have 1, 2, 3 pitchers. Softball, what I learned is you got a stud pitcher, you're going to see that pitcher every game you play against them. Is that common for the TBL where when you play Hopkinton or you play Medfield, it's going to be the same pitcher that you face in those games? Do they switch it up? And if they do, is it more so just in relief for those games?
I think they switch it up, right?
I want to say usually there's
Yeah.
1 or 2 pitchers that they switch
Yeah.
between,
Yeah.
but there's like a jump in talent.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
two
definitely.
Yeah.
backups.
Definitely.
Which I'm watching the Hopkinton-Medfield game last year. It was right before senior night. And this Medfield had these 2 sisters that crushed the ball. Like, and they're hitting balls over the
Yeah.
fence.
Yep.
And then they
Sounds about
switched
right.
the pitcher up. And it was a little drop off, and Medfield gets the upset, which then creates the opportunity for you guys beating Medfield or beating Norwood, TBL champs. So it was pretty cool to kind of see how that unwind. But I was also learning. I'm like, I thought you never change it up, but it also helps when you have a pitcher that has almost 600 strikeouts, are close to.
Too good to change out.
Yes.
It was just no biggie.
No baby.
Just short of 600 strikeouts.
casual.
She's cool.
600.
Is being the pitcher and the go-to, is there ever any pressure? You're in there for every pitch. I mean, I bet you haven't missed a pitch since your freshman year. Have you been the pitcher for every single pitch from freshman year till present?
I've pitched all but 1 game.
Yeah.
It Rachel Berliner came in for me and
Rachel.
pitched the game. Yeah.
That's
That was
awesome.
awesome. That was Medfield too.
Yep.
That was awesome.
So talk about this. Your first game ever pitching as a freshman. Rumor has it you threw a no-hitter. And what a accomplishment. That is not easy to do as a freshman. It's intimidating. You're 14 years old and you're going up against people 4 years older than you. It's your first kind of go at it. You don't know how hard these people swing the bat and whatnot. You go out and you had a no-hitter. How special was that? And at that point, did you know that you were capable of doing some great things on that mound, for years to come?
I was super grateful that we got the win that day. I was just trying to just throw strikes and do the best I could so we can get the win. Yeah. And the fielders were great, and we got 8 runs, I'm pretty sure. So the bats were good too. Yeah. And I feel like that was a great way to start off the season as well, like with the win, especially coming off like last year where we only had like 5 wins or something. Yeah. So I thought that was huge.
Absolutely. How much does it fire you up when you got these great bats right here? They tear the cover off the ball, and they're right in the middle of the order. And Amelia getting on base too to get everyone across the board. How much does that fire you up when you get like a 5-run inning, 8-run inning from your offense to allow you to just go back to being dialed in and not have to worry about a tie game or a one-run lead?
Oh yeah, it's definitely great. Like when we get some like more runs, so then it takes like a little bit of pressure off, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to ask this to some of the captains. Heroes. We all have heroes, whether they're our parents, whether they're other athletes. It could be Harry Potter. Some people have different heroes. They're all special. They give us some motivation. They set a good example for all of us. Who are some of the heroes that you guys look up to? When you think of the word hero.
I know. I'm gonna take a second to
I'll
think.
start off. I think of my grandfather and my mom. Because my grandfather, he played on the Red Sox, and growing up with him was just awesome because we'd always play.
Yeah.
And then my mom too, because she played at college, she played at Providence, and it was great growing up with them.
Great connection. A lot of Providence and Westwood sports connections, and that's incredible. Great heroes right there.
I know this is a stereotypical answer, but my mom and dad.
Love it.
My mom's just the hardest worker you've ever met.
Yeah.
She does so much for the community, so much for the team too.
Yeah.
And she's always there. If a kid has a bad game, she's the first person to find him and give him a hug. And my dad is the same way.
Yeah.
He's always just taught me to keep pushing forward in both sports. And he's just a really cool guy. And my brother too.
Yeah.
It's like seeing my brother go through high school. When I was a freshman, he was a senior.
Yeah.
Being able to hear about his high school experience with sports, it really gave me the confidence to just keep playing both. So.
Great people. I mean, those are, I think, the most realistic ones because they're in your corner for the wins, the losses, and they're the ones that make us be able. They're the ones that put everything on the line to allow us to go out and play and join these teams and whatnot. So those are great examples.
I'm gonna be basic again and say my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
I just like
be like me.
all the time. No, it's just my mom and my dad. They always are pushing me to like be better, and like no matter what I do, from like school to softball to soccer to my job, my friendships, and like I'm just so grateful to have people like them in my life who like really push me to like try to be the best I can possibly be.
Incredible. Bridget?
Yeah, I would also say my parents, like, they always have supported me in what I wanted to do, which is really helpful to like try and reach my goals.
Love that. And another question we like to ask too is, you know, when you were underclassmen, or say you were 7th and 8th grade and you went to the softball games, you know, we had heroes that were, you know, that we looked up to and said, I want to be the next Abby Johnson, you know, Sasha Marino, Amelia O'Neill, and Bridget Mulkeen. And there's a lot of girls that want that, be that next version of you guys. You know, were there any players that you looked up to, whether you were an underclass at Westwood High School or before you got into high school, where they just, you were admired them and wanted to kind of be that next version of them?
She was a hockey player.
Yeah.
Kendall Blomquist.
Oh, incredible.
She was just a dog
Yeah.
on the ice, and she was great. She was such an amazing person off the ice.
Yeah.
She played lacrosse too.
Yeah.
She was just such an amazing kid. Like
Yeah.
looking up to her my freshman year.
Yeah.
She was who I wanted to be.
You guys had a heck of a team. She was running the top of that power play, and what a shot she had.
That slap shot.
It was
It
unbelievable.
was crazy.
I saw it miss the net, and it was the loudest, like one of the loudest missed net shots I had ever heard, just how
Yeah.
powerful it was. But she is a fantastic leader, no question about it.
She was a leader. That's the perfect way to say it. She was
Yeah.
a leader.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like that.
Yeah, that was a great team that you guys had.
Yeah, I think Lil Hancock definitely.
Yeah.
I remember like in the summer trying out for soccer and just being so nervous, and like she was like the nicest person to me. She gave me rides everywhere, and she like, I think she showed me like how to be a good teammate, and I hope that I incorporate that in softball as well.
It's awesome. I mean, the common theme I feel like is when people have that experience, they pass that down to the next generation. You know, you always say, pass that elevator down when someone has that positive experience to give it to others. So really cool.
Yeah, I didn't really look up to anyone like growing up, but I looked up to the team as a
Yeah.
whole. I mean,
That's a
they
good
didn't have
example
that
too.
good of a record, but
Yeah.
I mean, they still connected well. They had a
Yeah.
lot of fun on the bench together.
Absolutely. You guys seem to have really good rapport. You know, the in-between innings is just hysterical. Like, it's like
Oh boy.
running out, running back in. You know, everyone's loud. You know,
Being
it's,
loud is the best part of
Sorry.
it is.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys-
what makes it fun.
You guys have fun, and I think that creates a winning loose culture. I think, you know, if
Yeah.
everyone's too uptight about, you know, the next run and all that, you know, it throws people off their game. So if people are happy and having fun, you know, they're playing their best softball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question actually.
I have a question.
When you guys are recording games,
Yes.
can you hear us yelling in between pitches?
We can, but we can't pick it up. It just sounds like chatter. You
Okay.
know, it sounds like it's not like Charlie Brown where it's like wah, wah, it's like
Yeah.
higher pitched, and it's like I can tell it's positive chatter towards getting the next out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
That's good to
and
know.
and also when after an out I hear it, you know, like good job, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
But it's awesome, yeah, because it's keeping people energized, you know, and it's also kind of reminders like we got your back, you know, we're here, you know, which is cool. But the closer we are, the Norwood game, yeah, we were a little closer. We were down the left field line, but most games were right in the kind of the right field gap. Right, parents love that section. I see a lot
Yeah.
of parents back
Yeah.
there. But yeah, no, it's definitely hear a lot of chatter, which is good. You know, be worried if we didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I want to also talk about teachers. So in addition to, you know, mentors and you know, mention the parents, teachers are important too. It's a lot to balance being a student athlete, to balance the schedule, the season with, you know, pretty vigorous academic, you know, portfolio to put on top of that. Who have been some teachers that have been, you know, ones that stuck out to you guys that you want to give a shout out to that have left a positive impact on you?
I think Dr. Miller, he's always supported me in things I want to do, and whenever I tell him I have a game, he's told me he's going to be there this
I love
week,
it.
so I'm excited.
Miss Patton. was my.
I've heard her name a few times from athletes. So.
She is just so beyond incredible.
Yeah.
And even when I was transitioning between schools, she always checked in on me. And when I came back for softball, she tried her best to come to all of our games.
Yeah.
She's just such a good, supportive person. I miss her. I miss our class.
I heard her name probably at least 4 times from captains, and so shout out Miss Patton. You know what a remarkable person. And you know what common answer is though too from you is going to the games. You know when the students see they get fired up. You know.
And you want to play for them.
Yes.
They hear all about it in school.
They're
all
asking
you talk
about it. Yeah.
And they get to watch. They get to see it happen. It's awesome.
Yeah. Amelia,
like bragging rights.
any teachers?
My teacher would be Mr. Mao.
Legend.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
takes
love
the
him.
pictures at
Yeah.
all the games. He's always there.
Yeah.
And I had him my junior year for math. And every day after a game, he'd just be like, "How was it?" And like we'd
He's the
take
best.
5-10 minutes to talk about it. And he was always understanding too of
Yeah.
like work not being done from games.
He gets
Yeah.
it. I had him as a teacher.
You did?
Yeah.
Really?
So I graduated 20 years ago, and he was my geometry teacher, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's pretty cool going to the games and seeing my teachers still there and pick right up where the conversations left off. He's not giving me detention now, which is great. But enjoy the games together is awesome. And Bridget, any teachers that have had a positive impact on you?
I would say Miss A again. It's just like she's so knowledgeable about softball, but like also about math, which is
Yeah.
helpful.
Oh, that's perfect. Good combination. Math's kind of important.
She is my math teacher.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time.
That's awesome. Does she pick on you guys when no one's raising their hand for any of the curriculum type stuff? Those would be my go-tos of my athletes. I'd say, you know what, no one's going to raise their hand. I'm going with, people I can call on that I can count on.
Sometimes, it depends.
Last year, there's some really cool, memorable games. Obviously, we talked about Norwood, but what were some other games that stuck out to you guys and why?
I think Hopkinton.
On the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was probably one of the games I've had the most fun at.
Yeah.
Like
you
it
go
was
5
just-
for 5 that game? You have 5 hits?
Maybe.
I think I remember because I was doing research in the Game Changer.
Oh.
And I was like, my goodness, it looked like there was 3 or 4 people with 4 or 5 hits.
I mean, it was just like, it was like electric. Like everyone was cheering, everyone was so excited, and like it was just an awesome game. And I think it honestly brought our team a lot closer together.
Under the lights too. How important are those bus rides? So you get a big win. How fun is that bus ride home? And I'm sure you guys are soaking it all in.
The bus rides home are amazing. I love like singing on the bus with everyone. I love dancing on the bus.
Screaming songs.
Like
Coach
singing your
Grandy's
heart
got to
out.
be,
Baseball
putting,
Poor guys, like so over it.
I like your aux. You do the best job at aux.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually got kicked off.
Yeah, who's the best DJ?
Probably Amelia.
Probably
Yeah.
Amelia.
Yeah.
You know
What's
how to
the-
get the group going.
What's the mix consist of? Is it a little everything?
It depends on the mood. I
Yeah.
mean, before game, usually like some just like hype up music.
Yeah.
And then on the way too, I'll play country. Just relax with country.
Who's the go-to country artist?
Probably Morgan Wallen or Zach Bryan.
Can't go wrong with either of those.
Yeah.
Sasha, any memorable games that you had last year? I'm sure Hopkinton being one. Was there any out?
It was either Hopkinton or senior night.
Yeah.
Senior night was not my best night as a player, but being with all the girls and under the lights,
Yeah.
my family was there.
Yeah.
Me and Dahlia were super close, so watching her play that game was really special.
Rounding the bases together after.
It was
pretty
really
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Now, is that something you do after wins, or was that just something special that night?
Every game.
It was around the bases.
Every game.
TG,
Hysterical.
to him, it's a sign of respect.
Love that.
So we run the bases.
Yeah.
I like it too. I think it's good.
I like it too. It's a team, kind of respect of earning that win.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, those are 2 memorable games. I don't know if there's additional ones outside of those, but we got any additional ones to the?
I'd say the Medway game.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
we went back
Yeah.
and forth, just
Yeah.
like
That was
extra
awesome.
innings. Yeah, we just
That
went back
was so
and forth.
fun.
Each scoring
Baseball was
one.
there
You
cheering
came
too.
in
Yeah,
as a
baseball.
catcher,
Yeah.
emergency
that was
catcher.
That was the
emergency
emergency.
Yeah.
game.
So talk
Emergency
about that.
catcher.
So have you been a catcher before, or were you just, hey, if I needed coach, let me know, I'll get back there? Or what's the situation?
So I'd caught before like a little bit. I mean,
Yeah.
it was never like my main position, but I'd catch for Bridget sometimes and she'd do pitching.
Yeah.
So like I'd done it before, and then Izzy had gotten, I
think she got injured.
Her knee or something.
Knee or her
Yeah.
hand, I
Hip.
forget.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
remember. But something happened to Izzy, and she had been taken out. They were like, well, we need a catcher. And at the time, we didn't have Catherine, so we didn't have anybody else
Yeah.
to catch. So he was like, Amelia, you've caught before, right? I was like, yeah. I mean, I haven't caught a game
Before,
since maybe
yeah.
freshman year, but I mean, yeah. And he just put me in, and we ended up winning the game. It was
Yeah.
a good game.
Yeah.
That was
Love
awesome.
that go-to energy. Kind of reminds me of Julia Marino
Oh,
coming in to
yeah.
play goalie this year. Got a shutout. When
That
was the
was
first
awesome.
you heard about that? How'd you originally hear that news?
Well, the family group chat was blowing up. I think I was on a bus ride to Philadelphia at that time,
Yeah.
and I was asleep, and I woke up to maybe 30 notifications,
Yeah.
articles about her, the interview after the game.
Interview, yeah.
She was beyond ecstatic, and she had been begging my dad to be a goalie her whole life.
Yeah.
And for her to do that, she was like rubbing it in his face. It was awesome.
She did it in style, what a story.
Yeah.
E-bug, they call it the E-bug, emergency backup goalie. And in the NHL, there's usually one for each team, and it's like the accountant. Like there's been some funny stories where it's typically if two goalies get hurt, you have someone who works for the team who hasn't probably played hockey in years, and different situation. Julie, obviously a player on the team, but goalie is such a different position,
Yeah.
and you're playing against a varsity team that
Yeah.
is pretty much a rival. Norwood and Westwood have gone back and forth.
And it was a great game.
And it was a great game. She hit some big saves,
awesome.
and my goodness, they were fired up after that. But
Mm-hmm.
cool to hear that. You heard. I had saw Paul in between periods,
Yeah.
and where he's having a laugh. I go, don't jinx it, man. I mean, this is a big story, but we had a good laugh, and it was what a story, what an accomplishment that was. Rivalries. So it can be more than one, but obviously it seems like Hopkinton is that rival. Are they considered that rival in your opinion? And if there are additional rivals, who might they be?
I think you can say it the best.
Okay. I would say Hopkinton would be our biggest rival because we tied with them for TVL champs.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time we play them, it's like a close game, and it's
Yes.
like even pretty much in like every way it could be.
Yeah.
But also I feel like Dedham is somewhat a rival because we've played with the Dedham girls.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's always like fun to play them.
Yes.
And I would say Norwood's a rival just
Yeah.
because, we're the town next to them, and I feel like we just play them a lot. And in the summer of I think it was 8th grade, we played in a tournament with them or
Yeah, yeah.
something. And it was like we kept playing Norwood teams, so I feel like we just know and are familiar with a lot of the players.
Yeah, definitely.
And is there like a rival? So you have the rival where it's like good teams, right? Hopkinton and you guys are going to battle for a TVL Large title. You did last year. Are there rivals where there's some, I wouldn't say animosity, but there's high emotions on the line, where it's, both teams are on edge, and both teams are celebrating a little bit extra louder on certain plays than a normal game. Are there any teams that check that box off?
I gotta say Norwood.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Heated during those games.
Yeah.
It's very
Their
intense.
pitching and their infield,
Yeah.
we're a little bit of a mouthy team.
Yeah.
We know it.
Swagger.
They'll
Little swagger.
give it right back.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it gets us angry, it gets them angry,
Yeah.
but that makes the game fun.
Got to
Yeah,
tap into the
definitely.
emotions.
Yeah.
Emotions, but it's also, there's pride on the line. You're wearing the W on the front of the uniform, so like you are playing for something bigger than yourself, so I totally understand that. And, you're going to defend yourself too if people are chirping, so I love it. So I asked this to the baseball team, and I asked this to the basketball captains before their podcast. I want to ask it to you. And this is about fellow athletes, not on the softball team, but athletes at Westwood High School that you watch them play in other sports and you admire them, whether they're like a great leader or an extreme competitor. The basketball players, Eli Ifra had mentioned like Drew Donegan, and Makai Dickerson had mentioned like Charlie Toole. As people they had watched, in their off season that really, were they had a lot of respect for. If you guys had to pick players your fellow athletes, who are some that you admire how they play the game and their type of leadership?
I think for soccer, Isabella Wen. I think
Yeah.
she's an incredible soccer player. And like I think she's going to go very far in soccer. And I think
Yeah.
she's just a really amazing person.
Yeah.
As well as Izzy Hansen.
Yeah.
Extremely, extremely good. And
Great
also
goal scorer.
the nicest person I've ever met.
Yeah. Great goal scorer.
Mm-hmm.
What games that you guys had this year, that Hopkinton game live?
Oh, it was so fun.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say Kate Sullivan
Yeah.
for hockey
Legend.
and lacrosse.
Yeah.
She is a natural born leader. She, like, her competitiveness is just fun to be around.
And what's her style of leadership? You've been in the locker room with her. Is she a vocal player, or is she lead by example? I mean, she clearly lead by example with her effort and execution and whatnot, but is she someone that gets the locker room going?
I haven't played with her since freshman year, but since freshman year, she has just been lead by example and work hard 24/7.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Incredible. Yeah. Yeah. What a player she was. What a historical season this year too.
Yeah.
181. Well, that's going to be
That's
known
crazy.
for a while. Amelia?
I'd say Madison Ward. She plays basketball.
Yeah.
I'm good friends with her. She's
Yeah.
a great person.
Good point guard. Great handle. We were talking. We did a winter season wrap up, so we were talking about her. But great leader, great player. Made some big baskets in big games, and was a big piece of that team. No question.
Yeah, I'd also say Kate Sullivan.
Yeah.
I've been following a little of the girls' hockey, and she broke a record or something, which was cool to watch. And I feel like she definitely got better each year and is a good leader.
She broke my sister's record, so we thought.
Oh, really?
We thought it would never be broken. So my sister had 100 goals and 80 assists, and it's gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah.
And then I had seen Kate play her freshman year because I was an assistant on the boys team, and I'm like, this kid is special. And she had a good season, but like the season she had her junior and senior year, the point production, she had 80-something points, 70 to 80 points her senior year. Incredible. But what a story. And you guys have such a good class of athletes, and I've talked about this with a lot of the alumni. You got probably the best pitcher to ever come through softball program, no question about that.
100%.
Arguably one of the best lacrosse players, Nazalillo, Kate Sullivan, you have Lillian Gullisarian. What an amazing athlete she is.
That's my best friend, fun fact.
We got to follow her around. She is an amazing talent. She hits the snot out of the ball. She's driving She's driving at 290. Like if I hit a good drive right now, I'll take 290. And she's hitting it straight. Her irons are crisp. Mentally, she's a fierce competitor. And there's probably a good chance you'll see her on the LPGA tour someday. And these are all part of the same senior class. Like how special is the senior class, you got junior captain right here. How special is your senior class and Sasha hockey too, to add to the senior class. How special is the class of athletes, and just appreciating what all you're doing, and the records you guys are setting?
I'd say we have a very athletic class. I think class of 2025 is just full of athletes, and a lot of people are going to college to play their sports, and I think that we're great when it comes to sports.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we stick out from the other grades. We get a lot of leaders in all their sports.
Yeah.
Football, lacrosse, you name it. There's a 2025 there right now who's changed the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. The ceiling was here. You guys ripped right through it, and it made the ceiling that much higher. And I think one of the commonalities is you gotta love that sport to a kind of a degree where others just tap out and they'll say, it's not for me. How hard do you guys work in that off season? For say hockey, softball. Like how much work goes in there, when it comes to the off season? There really, truly is no off season, I'd imagine, for both of you.
I mean, for me, it's kind of an obsession. I go to school for 6 months to skate every day, travel every weekend. I play with kids from around the country, around the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to college for it. I there is no off. Exactly what you said. There is no off season. When I'm not playing hockey, I'm playing softball with my favorite group of girls.
Yeah.
And when the season's over, I go right back to work.
And hockey's a grueling sport. It's a long season.
Yeah.
You know, and you played, Westwood for your freshman year, and you know how difficult those early mornings are too.
Oh yeah.
So how beneficial is the softball season after a long hockey season? Does it give you rejuvenated for some good competition?
That's like such a good word for it. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
It's a great change of pace.
Yeah.
The game is so different. It's not moving your feet all the time, always in a full sprint. It's more of a mental game. So it slows you down.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And especially with like you guys. It's so much more fun.
Thanks,
I don't
Josh.
think I'd be able to, I don't think I'd be able to handle it if I wasn't with you guys.
Oh, that was so
And
sweet.
it makes you better.
Sorry.
Playing other sports too. Talk about
Sappy.
that too. So playing multiple sports, how much does that make you better at the other sport by being coached by other players, being around other players, and seeing different competitiveness?
Something that your mom used to say to me all the time was the best softball players are dual sport athletes.
Mm.
It's the teamwork, it's the time management, it's just every aspect of playing two sports. It always helps you on the other side.
Yeah.
Just the athleticism too. Like I know that my conditioning gets so much better during the off season from hockey.
Yeah.
We're running so much more, we're sprinting so much more. But those sprints help with my explosiveness on the ice. So everything comes together. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Great answer. And Bridget, tell us about your off season. How much work do you put in? I know you playing club teams and whatnot. Is there really an off season for you outside of the regular season for softball?
It's just about like 2 weeks in August. I'll take that off. And then the rest of the year, it's just like pitching and hitting lessons, team practices, and games. But my club team's awesome, and my high school team's awesome, so it makes it a lot of fun.
And if you had to choose, would you rather a big home run or a big strikeout?
I guess
It's a hard question.
Not too many pitchers are capable of both.
I guess it depends on the situation. Like, if it is like a huge like rival or whatever, and we were like, I don't know, like up by a lot, maybe a strikeout. But like if we were down and trying to come back, maybe a home run.
Yeah, situationally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, you're doing both. So
Yeah.
It was a different time when I was your age. Seniors weren't the nicest.
Yeah.
What I've learned with the athletes now is you guys are so welcoming to the underclassmen and letting them feel like a part of the team early, where they're able to kind of let those nerves settle and to really just bring out their best game. How important is that for you guys as leaders to make them feel a part of the team, and also to let them know they're good players? You earned the opportunity to be on this team and to be a part of the starting lineups.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with one of the freshmen. They were like, it was our first game, and they were like, I'm so nervous. Like I don't know how I'm gonna do. Like I'm just nervous. And I like told her, I was like, you're here for a reason. Like you were picked from your class to be here for a reason, and we all believe in you. And a softball is a game where you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna mess up, and that's a part of the game. And I think it's so crucial to like stress that to the freshmen, that like we all make mistakes. I have had games where I've struck out every at bat, and as long as like I'm here with like everyone on the team, it's all gonna be okay. And there's a whole nother play.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like just like moving on from one play to the next. It's like you give yourself 3 seconds to be upset, then move on from it, because it's a very mental game where it's like if you get in your head, then it's like you might as well just leave. Like
Exactly.
you're gonna be in there the entire time. You gotta get out of your head.
Yeah, you're not present, and then more mistakes will happen if you're still in your head.
Yes.
Yeah. And you guys have some freshmen. You mentioned it earlier. We mentioned them being on the team, and I think some of them have already been a part of the mix in that Dedham game, and they had an impact. How important are they going to be to this year's team?
I think extremely important. I mean, they're all very talented players, and like I'm so excited to see like how they're gonna like help our team, and I'm excited to play with them, honestly.
And softball, I've noticed, just similar to baseball, there's a lot of strategy where you can bring in pinch runners and whatnot. And how much will they be used for that? Where, to bring into running, and then they're not taking a person out of the game. It's just I think you have a certain amount of times you can bring someone in to pinch run, situation.
Yeah. I think like everyone plays a part, and like I think it's really important that we have pinch runners, especially for like people like Bridget and like Izzy doesn't need a pinch runner. She loves running the bases, but like if someone's injured, I think that it plays a really crucial role in like also bringing the team together and like keeping everyone in the game.
Yeah, they're fast.
They are fast.
Yeah.
Fast kids.
Yeah.
At tryouts, they were pretty fast. I was like, uh-oh. I was like, shoot.
Take me out.
Now, you guys certainly you have a lot of fun on the field. You know, what are some of the stuff you guys do off the field, team bonding, that you guys really look forward to as captains, as teammates? That you've been doing throughout the years that you're looking forward to doing this season as well.
Pasta dinner Sunday at my house.
Love it.
Very
Everyone be
excited.
there.
Yeah.
Everyone be there, be square.
Yeah.
But usually pasta dinners are always
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
We have a tradition to go to Orange Leaf too.
Yes.
At the beginning of the season,
Now,
we
what's
take
that?
everyone to Orange Leaf.
Is that a coffee place?
Froyo.
Frozen yogurt.
Frozen yogurt.
Yes.
Oh. Well, where's that? Is that
It's-
in
I want to
Westwood?
say it's on Route 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Norway.
right by the Feisty Greek. Have you ever been
Yes,
there?
yes.
It's right
yes.
next to it.
And is that been a tradition, or is that something new?
It's something we started like probably my freshman year.
Yeah, I think freshman year for you.
I actually think I remember this.
It was
I think it was your idea. You
Really?
and Jordan came up with it.
Actually, wait, I don't remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
And are those after wins? Or are they just certain times in the schedule? What's the usual time you guys go there?
like
Whenever we feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we'll have, like,
What
I
when
mean,
if
the first time we did it, it was after, like, we had a practice, but, like, it rained, so we were indoors. But then, like, boys volleyball was in the gym, so we just went over plays, and, like, we kind of were all just, like,
Let's do something.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
like, let's do something. Like, we, like, spent the entire practice talking over plays and, like,
Yeah.
rules and stuff. So we were like, let's, like, go out and do something.
Yeah.
So that was the day that we did it.
Yeah, the mental reps, those are important, especially
Yeah.
now. I mean, your biggest opponent right now is the rain. I think you've had, what, two
Yeah.
games? 2 games now postponed?
Yeah.
we're
What
at
do you-
3.
3.
Postponed,
Yeah.
actually.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Awesome.
that's right. You had the first game of the season, which I think was last week. Ashland was
Ashland
Yeah,
postponed.
postponed.
twice.
Twice.
And
And
Hockington,
Hockington.
and then Ashland was postponed. They were
Again.
supposed to play, and then it was postponed
Yeah.
again.
What do you do to stay sharp? With the lull in that schedule. I know you have some practices. I thought I saw you guys out there today.
Yeah.
It's cold.
It was.
Yeah.
Really cold.
What do you do to stay sharp? Just do we still get some swings in and whatnot, and any film study, anything like that?
I can't say we've done film.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We've never done that.
We should do that though.
Yeah, maybe we should like talk to Tom about that.
Yeah. But what we'll do is we'll practice in the gym. Like, even if, like, I know it's, like, kind of, like, limited, like, meaning, like, you can't use, like, real balls, but, like, Tom will find a way that we can all get swings in and all get some reps in, like, by using the softies and everything,
Yeah.
which is really helpful because I know we've had a lot of rainy days so far.
It's funny because we didn't have special balls back 20 years ago, so there would be broken windows. But it was always, it's the crazy Northeast tryouts. The fields are never ready, and when they are, it's like you put your backup pair of shoes on.
Yeah.
Which drove by the field. One thing I noticed, a new home run fence.
Yes.
Yeah.
How excited are you guys for a home run fence? You guys have been getting a ton of home runs, but the old school way of inside the park. But how excited are you to have a fence where you can hit some dingers out there at the home field now?
I'm so excited. I mean, everyone is capable of hitting it out, and so I'm excited to see
Yep.
who's going to shine. I'm looking at you, Bridget.
I'm looking.
Yeah.
I was going to say Bridget's going to break the record.
Who's going to be the first one? Because that's
Came
that's
this close
history.
to breaking it at the old, like the original fence out there.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
that's
crazy?
bigger than college.
So was there? So the fence that's there now, right? Because you hit one last year into the gap. You actually reached the fence, which was right field, which was a bomb. But yeah, left field. I mean, that's a deep fence. That was meant for.
Yeah.
I don't even. It's probably further than college.
Yeah.
There's like really no reason for it to be that deep.
Yeah.
But whose idea was it? I mean, fantastic idea. It's also going to make home games, exciting, and it's also going to really bring out your strengths, which are, a really good hitting team that can hit the ball pretty far. And was there someone in particular that had that idea? It's, shout out to whoever that was.
Yeah, I think it was Tom Grandy that had the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about it for a few years, but like finally we like got a plan in place and got the fence in, which is good. Like
Yeah.
right before the season.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to calling it. You guys were one of our favorite teams to cover last year. Obviously exciting team to play, fun team because you're having fun. It's fun to call games of teams that are having fun out there. It's just a great energy. And like we said earlier, hope to see some more games at Morrison. You know, that was fun.
Yeah.
The question I like to ask is kind of a last question for captains is we'll call it end of June, and you had a successful season, and you're really happy about how things went. What does that look like to you guys? You know, what are some of the different feelings, attributes? You know, if you look back and you said that was a successful season, you know, what are the boxes that are checked off for that?
I think obviously like a lot of wins,
Yeah.
but also just like, I think just like feeling like bonded with your team. Like
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with my team last
Yeah.
year, and I hope to continue that.
Yeah, you're not going to win every game.
Nah.
There's going to be games where you have an off game, but something that I think is going to be key this year is consistency.
Yeah.
I think once we get in a flow, once we start really like meshing, getting to know everyone,
Yeah.
getting to know the freshmen, it'll be a successful year when I can text the group chat
Yeah.
and we have playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoffs tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's when I know.
I mean, for me, I love to make connections with everyone, like have that bond with everyone. So that's what it'll look like for me. It's like we're not going to win every game, but we're going to do the best we can.
Yeah.
And we'll make good connections.
It's a great example.
Yeah, I would say get better throughout the season. So like we're playing our best right before like playoffs or like a big game comes around. So I would see that as successful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, these are a lot of answers that we heard was it's not just about winning. Obviously, winning is the goal. You want to win the TVL, you want to win a state championship, but the impactful things are the experiences you have with your friends, your best friends, and the memories that you have. We've had guests on here, literally, graduated in the 70s, and they are talking about the memories they had with their best friends 50 plus years later. And these people were in their weddings, you know, and they're still best friends with them. So I can't harp on how impactful these times, you know, together, and how fun they are, and how much they are still going to shape, you know, some of your lifelong memories.
I
So
want to say too, setting up the underclassmen.
Yeah.
I think that our group and a little bit of the group, like your group, were a little formative for
Yeah.
Westwood softball.
Yeah.
So making sure that energy is being kept high when we're
Yeah.
on. It's kind
I
of
making
think-
sure that that light is still lit and it is, you know, on the trajectory.
There will
Absolutely.
definitely be some big shoes to fill next year. I don't even want to think about it.
Well, you know what? It's each year there's just new kids and new crop of talent that keeps coming in,
Yeah.
and to follow the example that you all are setting is putting them in the right direction. And there's the old saying, you know, you left the program better than where it was when you got there.
That's the
and
goal.
you know that's you know something that I undeniably know that you guys will do. But this was fantastic. We're super excited for the season and covering games, doing some post-game interviews as well. Those will be fun. Maybe we get Coach
Yes.
Grandy in for a couple. You know?
I'll be there.
We're gonna start talking to the sky.
Yeah.
He's not gonna know where to look.
But girls, thank you so much. You know, we really appreciate the time, and best of luck throughout the season. We'll be on the sidelines cheering you on loud and proud.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
And thank you folks for tuning in. Episode 34 of the Wolverine Report. Looking forward to seeing you all in the next one.